All right, so we're back with some more videos where I answer some Reddit posts. And I saw this post and it kind of caught my eye. It was kind of funny, but it was interesting. Want to give my 2 cents as always. So, as always too, I'm going to put the entire post on the screen so that way you can read along with me. But this one is chronically late to class, partially due to shame/overthinking. And I kind of like glanced through this and I thought it was kind of funny. Thought the title was funny. And it made me think about what I would do in college and like my perspective when it came to like going to class and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna give my 2 cents on this. So this person says, I don't know how to stop doing this. I'll be running late to class and drive all the way over there and be like 10 minutes late already. And instead of just rushing class, I sit in my car and think about how bad it is that I'm late and worry about what everyone will think of me, etc. This lasts for about 20 minutes, to which I either feel horrible enough that I just go to class 30 minutes late and slink into the back and hope no one notices me, or I just sit in my car for the rest of class time, hating myself before driving home. Even when I get there 20 minutes early, I'll check my phone in my car while waiting for class to start, even though I know it's a bad idea, and lo and behold, class starts before I know it, and then the ruminating about being late cycle starts up all over again. It's like I'm being piloted by a fucking demon that wants me to fail out of school. How the fuck do I break out of this? I know it's fucking stupid. I have good grades. My attendance is god awful right now. I need to take some goddamn responsibility, but I don't know where to start. So I'm laughing because I thought that was an interesting post. That was kind of funny. And it just reminded me of when I was in college, how sometimes I get to class late, and during the beginning of college, I'd get to class late and I would hate it because you get like anxious, you have to find a spot, you have to like kind of squeeze in between people. I went to Penn State and it's a huge campus, and it was weird because it was, most of the time it was cold, but when it got warm, it got like really warm. And so you were always like, at least for me, I was always like hot because you wear a lot of stuff to walk through the cold to get to class. And then by the time you get into the building, you're like sweating from the walking and everything. Then you just feel weird because you can't like take, at least for me, I was just awkward about it. You couldn't like take off all your clothes because then you just feel weird coming in late, and you got like a bundle, like, you know, a jacket, 5 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, you're trying to peel everything off, and then by the time you get it all off at the end of class and you're sweating, then you look like a mess. You gotta put everything back on, walk back outside. And then when it's like hot, you're still sweating anyway, even though you're wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, because then by the time you trek across campus to get to your class, you're just like dead. So this was funny. Now, me personally, reading this, I'm not recommending this. This is just something that I did towards the end of college, and it worked well enough for me. I just stopped going to class. I know that's like the worst advice ever. I know that's not like the thing people want to hear, especially if like you're a college student and your parents, for whatever reason, might watch this. This is like the opposite of what anyone would recommend. But I stopped going to class towards the end of college, and I found it was better for me than actually going. And the reason why, and I'm gonna answer, I guess, this question or try to give a solution for this guy's problem, but the reason why I would stop going to class is mainly because I found that I can get more done outside of class than in class. Like, if I would go to class, it's a 45-minute walk or 15 to 45-minute walk across campus. Then you sit in class for like 50 minutes, like an hour and a half, maybe 3 hours, depending on the class itself. Then you have to come back, either to your apartment or you have to wait until your next class. What I found was that most of the stuff that the teachers teach you is just the same stuff in the book anyway. It's the same stuff in the textbook. So if you can teach yourself a concept faster than the teacher can teach you in 50 minutes, you don't need to go to class. And the only exception was if the class required attendance. And if the class required attendance, this is just the way I like did the math. I would figure out like basically how much attendance was required in order for me to not get like a super bad score based solely on attendance, and I would just go enough to not get like that ding. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, like, I would try to figure out like if attendance was like 40% of my grade and I had to go, I'm just making up numbers, like 10 out of 15 times, I would just go 10 out of 15 times, and the other 5 days I would just intentionally not go and just teach myself a bunch of stuff so I just knew it ahead of time, and I was always kind of ahead of the class by doing that. I say this because I've come to realize that like college classes, and this is true of things in life in general, they move at a pace relative to the slowest individual or the slowest group of people. So if you're in a class, the class goes slowly because you don't want everyone to fall behind. For for the most part. There's some teachers that don't follow this pattern, but in my experience, the class just goes slow. And if you're someone who can like read a chapter in like a few days or like a day or a few hours even, and kind of understand the concepts, and this is gonna be determined based on like what classes you're taking. Some classes are gonna be more complicated than others. I totally get that. But in general, especially if you're in like liberal arts, this is super true in liberal arts, which is what I did. You can probably just pick up the concept yourself and teach yourself and be prepared for the test, assuming you study a little bit ahead of time. It's not, I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think it needs to be that, big of an ordeal. And it just saves you so much time. So I would kind of recommend that. Like, if you have good grades and the only thing you are lacking in is attendance, assuming the attendance doesn't count for that much of your like total final grade, I just wouldn't even go to class. I'm being completely honest. I would just not go to class, still do good on my tests and my quizzes or whatever you have, and just pass. And then you don't have the anxiety, you don't have to worry about the stress of all that. You're done. Other part of it that I found interesting is I don't understand why this person just doesn't like track when the class starts. This is what I would do if I really cared that much. I would just track when the class starts, set an alarm, and be on campus near the class like 30 minutes before the class even starts, and then just sit there in front of the class. I've done this actually in college. If I wanted to be on time or be at a class like ahead of time, maybe because of the seating situation, I would just show up early. Like, if your class starts at 1, don't leave to go at like 12:50 or 12:55 and you know that there's traffic and you know that there's people on campus and you know that something's gonna like slow you up. If the class starts at 1, leave at like 12:30 or leave at 12, be on campus early, wait in front of your class, like where the class is gonna start, and just study or like bullshit on your phone or just do something until class starts. Then by the time the other previous class gets out or the door unlocks, you just go in and get a seat. Boom, you're early. You're like the first one in. That's what I would do. So if I did good class on time, that's what I would do. So I don't know, I thought it was funny because I feel like this is one of those problems that people have. I don't know if this is a real post or someone's like trolling, but this feels like one of those problems people have where their overthinking leads to just like too much overthinking and they end up making their problems worse when there's a super, super, super simple solution to their problem, which is really just set an alarm, show up on time, be there early, and don't try to estimate. Don't like in his post he said he was somewhere else, like in his car when your class started. Why even be in your car? Why not just be in front of the class waiting for the class to start? Because if you went early, say for example, he gets to class and he's on time, but he doesn't know he's on time. If you wait in your car, you risk being late. When if you just walk to the class, you might just be on time or maybe like a few minutes early. Cool, that's fine. Or maybe even like 1 minute late or 2 minutes late, but you're already at the class, so it doesn't really matter. If you wait in your car, you somehow don't know what time your class starts, which is crazy too, by the way. Like, how do you not know what time your class starts throughout? It's been like a whole year. I imagine this is not his first class. I mean, he had to, if he's chronically late, he's been late multiple times. So I don't really understand like how this has happened, but I don't know. I would just show up to class early and then just be there on time and then you're good to go. I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to make a video about this. I thought it was a funny post. Very simple solution. By the way, as someone who's a productivity trainer, this is why I always recommend having a planner. Because if you have a planner, he could literally see his entire day and just script everything ahead of time. And this would never be an issue. Never be an issue. If you put in your planner that you have class at, say, for example, 1 p.m., you already know what you're doing from the time of 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so you can kind of maneuver things around to make things work best for you. So that way you don't have to be stressed out or you don't have to do any guessing games or anything like this. That's the purpose of a planner. This is what I tell all my clients all the time. As much as they hate it, as much as people fight me on the planner, this is the exact reason why planners are so good, because it allows you to see your entire day in real time, in an instant, and it takes out the whole guessing game. It takes out the guesswork. It takes out the stress that comes with potentially being late or potentially missing stuff. You don't have to worry about those things because it's all in the planner. Make sense? So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video, please share it, and please leave a comment below. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully in the next month or two. I just got to 500, so I'm super stoked. But I can only do it if you subscribe, share the video, and click the like button so that way the YouTube gods bless me with more views and more comments and more reach. So please do that. I'd appreciate you so much. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.